If you were going into a knockout, drag-out battle, and you had to pick several monsters, let's say two.
Two monsters.
Two monsters from all the monsters that we have witnessed, not knowing who the villain is going to be that you're facing off of, who are you picking to go into the battle with you?
Okay, so like, so far in this series, okay, so like I can't choose like King Kong from other versions of King Kong.
No.
It would be this version of King Kong.
What the King Kong that we have experienced, yes.
Okay, so not him. That's not what I need. I would choose Godzilla for sure. I mean, relationship-wise, it wouldn't make sense, but why would I not choose Ghidorah? Ghidorah gets shit done.
So you said you want one chaotic good and one just plain evil.
Plain evil, yes.
Okay. I think I'd go a Godzilla Mothra tandem. I need something in the air and something on the ground. But I you know what? I'm gonna switch it up. Anguirus.
Okay.
Anguirus and Mothra. I need something on the ground and something in the air.
Anguirus is good. It's good defense for sure.
Yes. You know, the spiky shell.
Yes.
The very sharp teeth, and then you've got, Mothra.
You got a lot of variety there, that's for sure.
Yeah, Mothra is very strong.
I have a real power duo. That's what I have.
Yes, you do.
Me, so.
You do.
But it might be too much.
But they might be fighting each other.
That's the thing. that's the you have to worry about it. But I'm not going to choose Rodan. It's a dick.
Oh God. Yeah, Rodan. Good old Rodan.
All right. I'm Aaron Neuwirth. I am a writer for We Live Entertainment and the co-host of Out Now with Aaron and Abe, and I am a huge Godzilla fan.
My name is Terence Johnson. I write at LenoirTour.net, and I have seen some Godzilla movies.
And together, we are
Two Black Guys Talk Godzilla.
All right. This is fun. We, Terrence and myself, just got out of a screening in L.A. at Vidiot's of Destroy All Monsters.
We did.
We saw it in a theater that was fairly packed. Not fully packed, but fairly packed. And with friends of mine, Jordan and Selena. Jordan, a friend of the Out Now Fair and Abe show, he's been on many times. And so now we are recording our episode right after a theatrical experience of what I've hyped up to Terrence as the Avengers of Godzilla movies.
You sure did.
1968's Destroy All Monsters, once again directed by Ishirô Honda. All the regulars are back. Akira Ifukube for the score, Eiji Tsuburura for the visual effects. All the people are back. After we had a Jun Fukuda movie, a couple in a row between Abira and Son of Godzilla, we're back in Honda territory for what at the time was looked at as possibly being the finale. Like the movies were on a downswing as far as profitability goes. And this was, at the time, thought of, okay, what if we brought all of them together to make, like, a final swan song?
Yeah.
But the thing is, this movie was a hit. So the series kept going for, this is the 10th entry, checks notes, 24 more entries.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
It didn't stop. But yeah, so that's what we're going to do today. We're going to talk about Destroy All Monsters.
Destroying All Monsters, yes.
Destroy all monsters. Massive armies versus mad monsters for possession of planet Earth.
Okay, so we're back. I'm going to
destroy all monsters.
What's exciting to me about this is I'm going to read to you something that right away you're going to be like, wait, that's when it takes place? And you're going to be like, what? So here it goes. In 1999...
Oh, my God.
A race of she-aliens, the Kylax, brainwash Earth's monsters into attacking major cities, prompting a team of astronauts to stop the invaders while the monsters battle Ghidorah.
1999.
Does that make more or less sense to you?
Less sense.
Less sense, really?
That's bonkers. They could have just kept it in the 70s.
It is a time jump. See, to me it makes more sense because now we're at a point in the future where they've contained the monsters on Monsterland, as we know.
Yes.
So, like, they've been able to build up a system that actually keeps the monsters located in one area.
I guess from that.
And they have this super advanced space fighter jet. What's it called? They only said it like 17 times. I can't remember.
Like SY-3.
It's the Moonlight SY-3.
Yep.
They have this advanced fighter space jet that can like travel to the moon and back in like an hour, as well as fly around Earth and like launch rockets and shit.
It makes sense, but it also doesn't. It's so set, like they haven't, other than this rocket, nothing. The looks wise of the technology has not advanced. That's more what I'm responding to.
I can get like,
or in the fashion.
Those are the only caveats I would like worry about, but otherwise. It's not like dramatic shifts occur that much as far as where
Did
you were.
Did they announce that it was in 1999?
They didn't specifically.
Okay, so that's
it must say it somewhere to some degree, or at least it's in like the press notes or whatever. Like,
sure,
it's acknowledged that it's the future to some degree, but the movie, yes, because it's made on a certain budget level, like it's not going to go out of its way to be like, yeah, we're in the Jetsons' future. No, it's just like, it's the future. The people. It's just
that's great. That's absolutely bonkers.
But the main justification I have is, yes, okay, I can imagine this world where they've found a way to like harness the monsters to a degree so they're not constantly destroying if you had to make an excuse for why they were able to team all of them up, that makes sense to me.
Yes.
And it's not like it's 2094, it's 1999, it's 30 years ahead. That's fine.
So in 30 years they figured out a way to get all of these monsters onto one particular island and to make them coexist peacefully.
Yes.
What a wild thing to think about.
I love the setup for this so much because we've had a series of island movies at this point.
Yes.
And this is one that like flirts with saying we're doing another one until it expands much broader. And so you get this island film that gives you like this Gilligan's Island style opening of like, there he is, Godzilla, Rodan, Gorosaurus, we're just meeting for the first time.
Yes.
Anguirus. Eventually we meet Manda. And Manila, of course, is there. Mothra, Rodan, we said Rodan, but like it gives us a rundown of everything that's been gathered together.
This
Baragon
film is one of the most unhinged things that I think I've ever seen.
Okay,
and certainly one of the most unhinged in this franchise. But it makes sense given that were like, okay, this might be the last one.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely gave those vibes of like, we're just gonna go, excuse the saying, but like balls to the wall.
Mm-hmm. Do you mean this in a good way? Like, were you delighted by this experience watching Destroy All Monsters?
I was not. To me, it's okay.
Okay.
I think I was expecting more, and I know by this point I'm fully in the rhythms of these movies. I know we're gonna get pieces of monster battle and then big battle, sort of longer extended sequence. I wanted more monster stuff. For a title with like Destroy All Monsters, I wanted more I just wanted more from the monsters. So to me, this film was fine. There's stuff that really delighted me, and there's stuff that I was like, this is foolishness. But I think my expectations of it, I just wanted more. I wanted more monster stuff. Particularly because, I think the final battle is so good.
That's the payoff, I would argue.
But it's only made that way by, a last-ditch effort from the Kylax to be like, all right, we've now summoned the biggest bad that we have in this franchise.
Yeah, so you're saying that there's an organic reason for them to have a big battle at the end.
I would have wanted it. I wanted it a little earlier. I will say that I thought that there's stuff in this movie that I just think is extremely spectacular, even though the modeling, which are the guy who introduced this movie beforehand, mentioned that they, the series wasn't really selling, so they essentially put all of their eggs in this basket, right? They do new models, they tighten up the suits, and you can really see that all the creature design is phenomenal. All of the modeling, particularly with that spaceship that we see so much of.
Yes.
I think it was just the human versus Kylax plot didn't curl all the way over for me. And that is why I'm like, oh, this is fine. It never got, even though it's serious, if I think about it in comparison to some of our other, something that we recently watched, with, I think, Ghidorah, the first appearance of No, not
the second one.
Astro Monster.
Invasion of Astro Monster.
Right? Like that. Now we have aliens, we have versus humans, we have technology, we have all of these things mixed into like a really, really tight plot that makes you really care about what's going on like with that. Whereas here, it's unwieldy. It's so unwieldy that I found myself struggling sort of with that. And I'd be like, bring Godzilla back. Even I wasn't happy to see Varan, but Varan was, even Varan's appearance at least elicited something from me.
I like this movie more than you. This is what I consider.
This is a good one.
This is what I consider one of my favorite of these movies. Period.
So you just let me go on that 5-minute long rant about how I felt about this. So that's telling me this is one of your favorites. Not that it would change my opinion.
No, I'm not asking it to. But it is one of my favorites. Period. Because of a lot of the things you're saying are things that I like about the movie.
Okay,
Could I like argue the Invasion of Astro Monster human stuff is better than this movie? Perhaps, but I do think the scale comes into play where that movie is just another entry in the series where this is meant to be some sort of possible finale or at least a culmination of sorts. So I can appreciate that, yes, it's larger scale, but I mean, it's still a 90-minute movie designed for kids. Like, I don't think it's too much to ask of me to follow a number of characters. It's perhaps less personal because we have more of an ensemble as opposed to the duo between the American and Japanese astronauts getting in the mix with the Zelians and everything. This is this is the Kylax, and I mean, you can say what you will about the Kylax, but they're drip.
Oh, the outfit? The outfit. You knew the second I saw that shiny outfit that she was wearing. You knew that I was already like, okay, I'm ready for her to mess everything up.
In a lot of fan art, when it comes to the aliens, people love doing stuff with the
oh, it's gorgeous.
The Kylax specifically.
What I will. We have an episode coming up much later, but or maybe not much later, depending on where we are in the schedule.
It's like 4 episodes from now.
But like the fashion in these things is getting like extremely good in a way that's like shocking when you compare it to the costume design of like modern disaster movies, let alone a MonsterVerse Godzilla film. Like it leagues better than what we have been witnessing sort of in the modern day. So I was here for the Kylax.
What I can't speak to is like what the culture was like in late 60s, 70s Japan, but it is it's not too different from what's going on in like the UK and America as far as like the mod scene and the colors and what have you, like just the way.
Yeah, well, in this film, to talk about one thing I did like and the reason why the costume design maybe spoke to me is like there's like intentionality behind. It feels like everything, right?
Yes.
We've got our main female character who's been brainwashed by this point, is being controlled in like a red dress, while everybody else is in sort of muted colors. You've got the brainwashed astronauts / soldiers / scientists who are wearing black, and then when the secret police comes up there, they're in brown, right? So it's like we've got the yellow of our astronaut characters is like, and obviously the silver sparkle of like we're doing things with color in a really fascinating way, and in a not just like visually appealing to the eye, but like storytelling wise. And so that I will give, that was really something to see. Like particularly when those secret police came out, I said, oh, okay, yeah. I like Ishirô Honda, right? So like I've seen many of his movies now at this point. So like he's a very good director. But I was like, oh, I'm in the hands of people who know what they're doing.
Yeah, and to speak more to like the things I like about this movie. I mean, yes, obviously there's a lot of conscious choices being made on his part, and I just think like there's a lot of comic bookiness to this as far as like you could see this as panels. That's what I mean when I say comic bookiness. Like not in terms of like the tone or whatnot.
I could see that, yeah.
But I do think. Given that you have Invasion of Astro Monster, which again is also one of my favorites here, what I think this is doing to, it's hard to say one up it, but at least stand in the same league. Like if I consider that movie like a template for how these movies are going to be, as far as having some otherworldly force and human plot that's at least interesting, that's the movie I'm jumping off of, and I think this one is a I don't want to say necessarily upgrade, but certainly taking the rhythms of that kind of a Godzilla movie and having fun with it. So you get these stuff like these costume choices and this human story that involves shifty aliens doing whatever once again, and they have and I've we've visited multiple planets, right? We had Venus, we had Jupiter, Moon, and now we have the Moon.
Yes,
we have the Moon
and technically the asteroid belt too.
And the asteroid belt, yeah. But the Moon now, it's like these aliens that live inside rocks that have to be superheated in order for them to activate themselves. That's the idea.
So ridiculous.
But okay, so you have all that.
That's not ridiculous. Bad, but yeah, it's ridiculous. It is ridiculous.
So you have all that stuff. On top of that, compared to something like Astro Monster, which is very much a versus movie that happens to just have like a 2-on-1 kind of versus thing going for it, this one finds a lot of ways to have best of both worlds, where you're in a situation where you want to, as a viewer of monster films, that you don't, while the devastation involved is one thing, we're far past Godzilla 54 as far as the result of the, like, it's not, it's still, even the characters are still like, Tokyo's in ruins. Like, it sucks that this happened, but you are kind of coming to see destruction. And what I think this movie does well is finds an interesting way to get the monsters to give the audience that level of destruction without you hating the monsters. I think that's a clever choice, where it's like, all right, we want to deliver destruction at full scale around the world. It's called Destroy All Monsters. We have all these monsters. Let's see them actually destroy shit. Let's see them go to Paris and to America and to Tokyo and this, that, and the other. And we're going to see them in China. We're going to see them destroy all these buildings and the Arc de Triomphe and all this stuff. And you're going to be like, oh, that's insane. We're seeing all this destruction. But it's not their fault. Like, there's a reason for that. They find a reason to make that make a level of sense. On top of that, it's still also eventually a versus movie, the most epic of versus movies, because it's like, okay, once we get them back under control or out of their spell or whatever, we get them to come back to the island where battles happen, and we get to see this all-out brawl between who else? Ghidorah and all the other monsters.
Always Ghidorah.
So it's sad. I think
always Ghidorah. Oh my God.
I like that it's doing a lot to satisfy audiences that like to see different kinds of things in monster movies. I really appreciate about and I like that the story, for what it is, and again, at a certain budget level that it's at, because I still think this costs less than Invasion of Astro Monster at this point, despite it being a good looking movie. So was Invasion of Astro Monster. They are stretching their resources. So the fact that it's found a way to make a coherent story that can satisfy fans of all ages at this point, as far as people that grew up with this, kids that are coming into this, kids that want to see Manila for whatever reason, like, all of that somehow worked in the film's favor, and so you can deliver a movie that, for its time and for what it's doing, is like about as epic as you can make a Godzilla film. Certainly.
I just love that Manila. It is so funny. People really do not like Manila.
No, it's that. So we saw it, like we said, in the theater today.
Yes.
And people did, like, it's a mix of, when referencing Manila, when the movie was being introduced to us, there was a lot of laughter and like, all right, yeah, Manila, we know, this sucks. And then he gets on screen and they're like cheers, but they're more cheers out of like, this nonsense character. I can't.
They're like Bronx cheers.
Yes,
is what we call
Bronx cheers.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I do commend the epic scale, and like I said, like with the knowledge that this was potentially intended on being a final entry, I can see why the story was crafted a certain way. I can see why we got this entry, and there are things about it that I think really speak to that in a great way. I just found myself just not as invested in the human versus alien thing. Like, it felt drawn out. It felt like times they were like, okay, we need to make this a big spectacle. So we've got this rocket that is admittedly very cool.
Yeah, if I was a kid, I'd want this toy.
I love the rocket. It was like, anytime there was like an issue of like, how are we going to deal with this? Everybody hop in the rocket. Let's do it. Everybody hop in the rocket. Let's do it. Oh, the rocket is getting burnt up. Let's use the rover to then get back to the rocket. The rocket is like, and like I said, it's very cool, and it spoke to me because I love space.
Sure.
And have recently, and sort of like the last 2 years, like reconnected with my love for all things space. So I like love the idea of this rocket. It's very cool, but something about I don't know. I kind of wanted a little more. I don't know. I kind of feel like I just wanted a little more directness of that, a little more, because like there is emotionality. There's emotion in there, right? You've got a guy. Is that his? I'm not sure. Girlfriend, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So like the fact that she's been brainwashed is like a big, sort of deal. Mm-hmm. But it's like we use that sparingly in a way that I'm like, oh, but you could have leaned on that a little more. Like the idea of that. So yeah, it just the human stuff fell a bit flat for me. The monster stuff I thought was very, very good. I even I like the idea of these aliens being like, we have gonna control them. Mm-hmm. We're gonna start tearing your cities up until you agree to make this be a haven for us, right? These movies are like aliens see Earth as a place of, we need to have a hold on it. But yeah, just something about the alien, especially when it's like they start to cool down and then they turn into rocks. I was undone.
I mean, I think there's limits to, I don't disagree with you as far as would I like more monster stuff. Obviously, who wouldn't want more monster stuff?
Yes.
But I guess I do like the human plot more than you do, it seems. Mm-hmm. Largely because I think what it's doing is trying to avoid retreading too much of things that we've gotten before, like just, standard melodrama involving relationships.
Certainly.
Or whatnot. I don't think it does the best job of necessarily replacing that with more espionage or whatnot, like things like secret police or whatnot. Or people that are being mind controlled and like where that can lead to. Again, Invasion of Astro Monster, I think, does that really well. It does have that kind of wacky adventure plot going on that it really responds to. I need to
scoot Invasion Astro Monster up a little bit higher in the rankings after watching this.
I mean, and that's why I like that movie so much. I think the human plot Invasion of Astro Monster is probably my favorite one. Like,
it's good.
Well, in the Showa era at least. There's. When do we get to the Heishi era? There is some crazy shit going on.
Oh my gosh!
In those '90s ones that you're gonna be like, wait, what? Like, there's a lot of these movies are popular. What if we did something like those?
And interesting.
And it's gonna take its own way of going it. So yes, are there things in this one that I would like that I could see being handled slightly differently or whatnot if they weren't either pressed for time, pressed for budget, or just wanted to go a different direction, even if it might seem a little too familiar with other movies. I can see that. I think the counterbalance is when we do get the monster stuff, which I do think there's a good amount of.
Oh yeah,
it's great. I do.
I just wanted more.
Of course, because it's so good. It's really good. I like that when you get the destruction stuff, you have for one thing, Manda has appeared in other movies. I didn't want to schedule us to watch more than just Varan and Rodan. I was like, I don't need us to.
After you put me through Rodan and Varan for one episode of this, I think thank you for sparing me some of these other ones.
You make some choices, but I think we made the appropriate one as far as what to prepare for. But I like the Manda design a lot. That's such a cool, interesting. It's like a flightless dragon.
I turned to you and I said, "What the hell?"
There's that, and there's Gorosaurus.
And then you were like, his tiny arms.
Yeah, his little arms, yes.
I appreciated the design of Manda. Definitely more, obviously in the Western world, when we think of dragons, we think of things that look Ghidorah-esque. Mm-hmm. Whereas Manda is more along the lines of sort of traditional
Eastern. It just doesn't have giant wings.
Yeah.
But it's essentially like a big old snake dragon thing.
Yeah. But I appreciated the design.
So, the destruction stuff that we do get out of that, I do think, again, you with all the model work and everything, it looks very good.
Oh, amazing.
What you're doing. And there's a lot of, there's multiple monsters attacking things at one time. It's hard to get caught up in, the stakes of this because it's, rubber suits. But the fact that the movie establishes that they're being contained and being forced to do this, that does compel me as far as, what I'm watching, where it's this sucks. This movie's far from the tone of 54, mm-hmm. but I'm still seeing devastation occurring, and they found even newer ways to accomplish that. It's not because they happen to be fighting in a city; it's because they're just deliberately attacking stuff, and from all angles, and all these unstoppable beasts are doing it.
Well, in particular because I think it's in particular because Mothra is involved,
sure.
And we have seen Mothra be 99% benevolent in all of the stuff. Even when she was blowing, the city down, she a very justified reason for doing that, and she wasn't even trying to do. I think if Mothra really wanted to tear that city up, that city would have been leveled. It's more just the flying around. Unlike Rodan is literally trying to break the buildings and the bridges and all of that. Whereas, so like have Mothra like cause that train accident, and then to have just bust up in the subway building, which I thought was hilarious. I was like, subway, but not underground.
So I like all that, but then also I do like, not only do you get like this final battle that is very fun. We can talk more about that in a bit. But I like that the film, much like the Avengers, it has a look at the team assembled. Look at this group of characters we got. Even Varan in the background, slightly flying in.
Oh my god.
Who does nothing at all.
Every time I think about Varan just jumping up and flying in his movie, that movie was dreadful. But is it worth it to have witnessed that specific scene? Maybe because it
works
funny.
out. So like
the ultimate flop.
It's the kind of thing where it's probably the closest I can get to putting myself in the shoes of being, in the audience in 1968 watching this movie come out and being like, look at this! Like all these things are together. And there's one thing they're gonna do what? They're gonna go attack the Kylax, who at this point in the movie we very much do not like. We're awful. Like the audience should be fully aligned against like what's going on here, and the fact the monsters, after 10 of these movies, along with every other spin-off or whatnot, the humans and the monsters are both like, we all need to be on the same side here and go after this thing. I'm, again, with a certain curve in mind because of the kind of movie it is, I'm invested in that.
I was invested. Obviously, so at this point, at a certain point in the movie, they have figured out how to control, the humans have figured out how to wrest the monsters away from Kylax control, and they're like, we're going to send them after the Kylax. And then something happens where they are unable to do that, but they're like, the monsters know who the real enemy is, which was amazing. So ridiculous, but it was amazing. I did love it once we really started getting into that, and it certainly is meaningful, to see all of these characters coming together. You liken it to the Avengers, and it's like, that in that movie, it's not even just, all these characters are in the same place. It's like, how are we going to get them to fight together, in a meaningful way? And I think here they did it very, very smartly. I will say is that I think that the stakes for the humans was there.
Sure.
Like they really had to overcome a lot of stuff in order to succeed in this movie. They had to come. Did I think, maybe with a little bit different music tweaks here or there, or with a little more speed, they could have accomplished it in a way that felt, maybe a tighter edit. Maybe instead of this being 92 minutes, this was 85. Certainly there's something there, but yeah, I do think that part was very satisfying, I will say.
Apparently the film was reissued theatrically in Japan in 1972, where it was re-edited by Honda to a 74-minute running time, release of the title Godzilla Lightning Fast Strategy, which is a fun title for a Godzilla movie.
Yeah.
I was also not super accurate as far as the sales went. It did better than Son of Godzilla, but it still was showing the decline of the franchise as far as how much it was earning in ticket sales. Again, that's why they pivot towards kids, because kids are the ones that are going to want to see, or at least respond to this. You'll definitely see that in the next movie in this franchise, which is many consider the nadir of the franchise, but we'll get there when we get there.
Oh no.
I know there were more scenes that were deleted from this film. I'm just reading up to be sure, but there's which is more basically monster stuff. It was more about tightening the film overall.
Yeah, which I think it's interesting to be like, to tighten this movie, we need to lose some of the monsters versus lose some of the human stuff. Because I do think, like, you hear the title. The title. Mm-hmm. This is important for everybody out there writing a book, a show, a movie, an album. The title is crucial. Destroy all monsters, but like everybody not fighting against the monsters is tough. And maybe that's what I'm wrestling with as we do this. The sense of expectation from that title is like, I'm like, oh, destroy all monsters, but like, there's never a part discussed in this, like, to use the Avengers thing, right? Let's nuke New York City.
Well,
let's get all the monsters are on Mount Fuji. Blow them up.
This is what's going to piss you off. The next movie, this franchise is called All Monsters Attack. Terrence has dropped the microphone dramatically, rolled his eyes, and is now trying to recompose himself.
I want everybody involved in Toho put in jail for a week.
Again, I think it speaks to their thinking that this was going to be the final entry that we did what we needed to do.
But
so they missed the opportunity to have a much better title that they probably thought of the day after this movie came out. And so the next
jail time for everybody involved, retroactively too.
The next one's called All Monsters Attack, and then you're going to be really weirded out by this by the time you actually see that movie. The other title it has is Godzilla's Revenge. You're going to watch that movie and you'll be like, why the hell would they call this movie Godzilla's Revenge? But we'll get there when we get there.
I think I'm wrestling with, because like I said, destroy all monsters. I at least expected somebody in the movie to say that. Or it's just something, it's not destroy all monsters. This could have been called like Godzilla's Last Stand, or like Godzilla's Final Battle. If you think it's going to be the final movie. And even if you want to come back with All Monsters, like this is definitely All Monsters Attack. And then
it would make more sense for this movie, yes. I agree with you.
Jail time for everybody involved.
Initial screenplay preliminarily titled Monster Total Advancement Order.
Terrible title.
Maybe it sounds better in Japanese.
Yeah, the English translation of that is awful. But that's okay.
By the way,
America was doing some wild things with the titles of these too.
Oh, for sure, yeah. But by the way, just to note this, there was an attempt to put the dance back into this one, just like Invasion of the Astro Monster, and Honda he was like, no.
I'll fight everybody.
We let you do this once. This is not happening again.
And you know what's so crazy about it? I literally see the moment in this movie where that would have happened.
Yep.
There was like a frame where I could have seen that. Yeah, Ishirô, you were right. You were correct. You were correct last time, but I'm glad you got to make the right decision for this. I can't believe that. All Monsters Attack. Titling something is it's important.
Which is, again, it's more of an overseas thing, and they often like switch these things around a lot too. Like I'm sure they're called all kinds of different things depending on the country or whatnot.
Well, speaking of destroying all monsters, can we talk about this thing that I loved?
What?
Let's talk about this battle.
Okay.
So
we got a big old battle.
Yes.
All the characters combined. We have Rodan, Anguirus, Mothra, Baragon, Gorosaurus, Manda, Varan in the background.
Yes, being the flop that he is. Yes.
Manila, and led by Godzilla.
Yes,
which the humans acknowledge. Like Godzilla is leading them. Like they're proud. Like he's
which is interesting. Which is a change.
Like he's their teenage son. That's like
it's a change because the last time we've seen Godzilla have to be gotten together, right? Mothra had to get Rodan and Godzilla together.
Yes, and then they had to fight. He and Rodan had to fight Ghidorah on their own. You have, by the time of this recording, you haven't seen Ebirah yet, but Godzilla's very much on the side of good in Ebirah.
Yes,
and then no real humans necessarily. Well, son of Godzilla's more or less just fighting bugs.
Let's just ignore. Let's just ignore Manila. We can ignore Manila for the time being. But yes, they all get together. They're mind controlled, and then they're not. But then they're like, okay, we know who the real enemy is. So they start. But before they can get to that, the Kylax. My God, I'm sorry. All the alien names are like just cohered into what they are like. We got one final thing for y'all.
And who else could it be?
Ghidorah. The second I saw that little phoenix looking triangle shaped thing, I said, okay. But what I loved, I just loved the battle. It was a phenomenal battle. I think
they make Ghidorah like a good fighter against 7 monsters. Like they do a really good job of making it seem like a real threat.
In a way that, like, to nitpick Godzilla and his like minimal use of the atomic breath during this. I said, Godzilla, please. Please.
I can't speak to the thought process of Godzilla, but either he could be strategizing as far as when's the best time to use this, or he simply just doesn't have enough power to keep doing it.
So that aside, this battle is phenomenal.
Okay.
My boy Anguirus is back in this movie.
I forgot how much you liked Anguirus.
I love Anguirus
You're
now.
a big Anguirus fan.
But you know what? It's because we watched one of these out of order.
Sure.
And I saw what happened to Anguirus in that movie, and I felt really, really bad for Anguirus. So anytime I said, like, yay, Anguirus.
Anguirus tends to take a beating in these movies. Anguirus is like a sacrificial lamb a lot.
Anguirus might be the realest one out of that whole team. He was chomping down on one of Ghidorah's heads. Got lifted up.
While holding on by the teeth.
Yes, lifted up into the air and dropped back to earth, stepped on, and still came back.
Yep.
And started biting again. I said, that's my boy, Anguirus. No, that battle was really fun. It was great seeing all of the monsters there.
And utilizing their different skills. Like you have Kumanga. Oh, I forgot Kumanga. Kumanga, of course.
Kumanga. The first shot of Kumanga, I almost jumped out of the building. Because y'all know I do not do giant bugs. Kumanga, the design of it is so incredible that I like get past the fact that it's like just a big ass spider.
So you have Kumanga and Mothra using like their webbing abilities. They're like shooting webs at him. You have Rodan like flapping the wings and getting air, like doing the airdrops on him, and then you have the rest of them just like brawling. It's awesome.
It's amazing. Rodan didn't do too much in this one either. He got like hit once and then was just flying around. And I said, okay, so. Yeah. But we need you, and you are over there.
Rodan's a dick, I'm telling you.
Oh, the worst.
Rodan's like, if this starts going south, I think I'm going to...
Varan is just somewhere. But no, it was really amazing seeing all of them fighting in the different styles. Finally, like, really getting at Ghidorah in a way that they have not in these other movies.
Yeah.
Like, they've battled Ghidorah, and Ghidorah has flown away 2-3 times at this point. But now it's like, and this is where I said, this is how you really can tell that they were envisioning this being the final one, because they killed Ghidorah.
I have an important trivia fact about Varan.
Let's do it.
Varan was originally going to have a larger role in this film, as when King Ghidorah attempts to fly away, Rodan and Varan would have teamed up, fly after him, and force him to land. Unfortunately, when the producers saw how deteriorated the Varan suit was after years in storage, it was decided to use a puppet in the film and film it at a very long range. So they basically just didn't have the means to do more with Varan.
Interesting. Well, that production was so raggedy.
It's not surprising that 10 years later, the TV movie Varan suit didn't exactly hold up.
Ooh, because it barely held up in the Varan movie. And I'm sorry to the Varanites once again. If you like Varan, I apologize, but that movie was dreadful. Not Varan's fault, but he is a flop.
Just to be clear, also, the movie Manda is in is called Atragon, which is also an Ishirô Honda film as well. But yeah, I didn't know.
I'm not watching no giant snake movie. But yeah, no.
Let me just read you the plot of Atragon.
Oh my goodness!
When an ancient underground civilization and their snake-like guardian plots to reclaim the surface world, those of the surface fight back.
You know,
I've not seen Atragon.
That plot intrigues me.
Maybe we'll do a bonus one day.
But the plot does intrigue me, I have to say. Even though I was very staunchly against it, the plot does intrigue me. But yeah, the battle here was just, it's incredible. You know, to see all of them team up, to see my boy Anguirus really get in the fight, to see them actually kill Ghidorah, right? Because that's, like I said, they beat Ghidorah, and he flies away. And then he comes back, and they beat him again, and he flies away. And this might be the most finality we've gotten in a monster battle for like a big bad, like maybe since the first one,
perhaps.
Like Godzilla in '54, like that. The Godzilla that we know now is a different one. The first one that we witnessed is dead. And so Ghidorah, they really went to town on Ghidorah. I was in the theater. I was stomp him out, stomp him out, tear that expletive apart. Very Lucy Liu and Kill Bill.
No, I'm a big fan of it's what you want to see from this movie.
Yes.
And like it does, when you get to that battle, like, yeah, it's the most monsters that will be ever on screen together in a Godzilla movie up until 2004's Godzilla Final Wars. You're not going to see that many monsters all together for another 20 or 30 years.
Yeah. 30 something years.
relish in that.
No, it was cool. I that's why I said I wanted more. I would have wanted. You know what might have if they sent like 4 monsters at Tokyo at one point in this movie. If they would have sent like Godzilla and Baragon at New York, or like send multiple monsters out to these.
Again, these were scenes that were considered either deleted or scrapped from the script.
I need the Ishirô Honda cut.
I mean, it's a matter of budgets or just doing what feels the most essential for what I imagine is targeted to be a 90-minute movie.
That's what I said. I found it fascinating that he then did his own cut, which tightened it up considerably, but also that with the knowledge of, obviously I didn't have this knowledge prior to going into the movie, but like it's interesting to think about in terms of as we're critically analyzing it, of like cutting out monster stuff versus cutting out the human stuff. Because the thing that didn't speak to me was some of the human stuff. So I'm like, if there would have been more monster, like what the balance of that would have been like.
Well, I'm sure for him, because he co-wrote and directed this film, it does matter to him to have the human stuff be as coherent as it can be.
Oh, definitely.
And
I want it to be coherent.
And I'm sure, he has a stock company of players and whatnot. I'm sure he admires the performances he's getting out of these. Like, he's treating it seriously, is what I'm saying. So it's like...
Well, yeah. Because Son of Godzilla does... I mean, that plot... The human plot is coherent, but is it really...
Well, it's also not him. So
yeah, we've seen some of these.
There's always the curve as far as this is a film from 1968 that's made on a certain budget level. You can only do so much spectacle.
That's
right?
true.
You can't do. It's not Avengers where you have whatever money to put CG in every single shot of the movie.
$150 million. Yeah,
that's a conservative number,
allegedly.
So
I mean, maybe when they did the first one, I could see that being the budget.
I meant more of these later ones where every shot has something going on.
300,
yeah. So
just on production.
This is the old school day. Even in the 90s, you couldn't do action every 10 seconds. You have to pace it out with other scenes involving people having dialogue and conversations or whatnot. And the fact that I like this more just speaks to why I like this movie. I just enjoy that intrigue. I also. When we watched Invasion of Astro Monster, I kept thinking, I could have sworn there was a beach sequence in this movie where there's a whole beach sequence. Because these do meld together a bit if you're watching them in a row.
Yeah.
And there's a whole sequence where a character commits suicide. There's a beach cop shootout.
Yes.
They're out there, but they're on the water. It's like, this looks really nice.
When I say we, I mean Toho loves that beach.
Mm-hmm.
We will see it again in the future. See several beats. They love shooting on, which I like the differing locations. I think what I kind of miss the newsroom.
Okay,
we've gone from these movies where like the newsroom as a location was like crucial and a lot of stuff went down there and characters went there, versus in like these past couple ones, the news has come to the people. Right, it's come to the scientists. It's come to this control center. They somehow, some way, are in the defense center. The whole gaggle of press have been there the entire time. So it's like I do miss. Like I like having that there, and of course, in this movie, we get an actual member of the press calling. Essentially calling the fight.
I'm just thinking ahead to other movies, and I'm like, does the newsroom really come back in a significant way? I'm not entirely offhand. I
think we're doing it. We've done away with that.
It seems, we've just evolved.
And I do kind of miss just that as a different vibe.
There is stuff coming up as far as the vibes you'll be getting, as far as how they incorporate humans. That will be significant to say the least.
I'm down to see where we can go. I mean, Astro Monster. Was Astro Monster first Aliens? What was no?
No, it was the other one.
We've seen
Ghidorah.
Yeah, that they were just like aliens.
Yeah,
and I was like, well, I guess I'm just gonna have to go with this in a way that we were talking about this in the car prior to on the way back from the screening, but just like I really want to know if some of these modern movies will just go there. We know obviously Ghidorah is an alien, but I'm talking about like aliens.
I mean that as far as the series has established that if Ghidorah is an alien creature that's not from Earth,
yep,
that means there's other things that aren't from Earth.
Yep.
So like and not just like Hollow Earth, another dimension, or whatever they want to call it thing, but like we're literally going into outer space, or something's coming from outer space to deal with this. I have no idea what Supernova has in store for us, but I really hope it embraces that idea. Whether it's sending,
give me gone at this point. What I have witnessed in the movies that we have seen doing this podcast, at this point, I'm ready for anything.
Well, by the time Supernova comes out, you'll have seen some stuff that should justify whatever choices they make for Supernova.
In 2027, yes, I look. Just the thought that we'll be doing this podcast for another 2 years.
I still have to figure out the schedule to see if we'll actually be caught up by then, or if we'll be doing Supernova before we even get to like the legendary films. I'll be very curious how that schedule times out. If we're doing if there's 52 weeks, we do these, but we watch one of these every week. We probably will catch up by then.
How many more movies are there? Don't tell me the number. Don't tell me the number. Don't tell me the number.
Between the actual numbers of Godzilla movies and whatever like spin-off stuff we might do.
Don't tell me the number. Let's.
Well, it's above 20. I know that.
Yes. Let's just leave it there. I don't need to know. I'm on the journey.
But if there's 52 weeks,
I'm on the journey. I don't want to know how far away the light at the end of the tunnel is. I just know I'm in the tunnel and that a light will eventually appear.
Did you enjoy watching this movie with a crowd?
I did. I've enjoyed watching. We've seen 2 of them.
Yes,
with the crowd. Yeah, no, they're fun.
It is.
I did. The vibe and the energy is great. It's nice to see them on a big screen.
I like that they showed this subtitled. I wasn't sure if they were going to do this or dubbed.
Oh my! I might have ran out of the building if it was dubbed. And that's no shade to the amazing voice actors that are out there that work on dub stuff. I have been burned too many times by dubbed things. In particular because we've been watching a lot of these in Japanese. I kind of feel like until we get to the American ones, that like experiencing them in Japanese is the way to go.
I mean, if it was like a 35 of one of these, the only option would be to watch it that way. Like
I would have tolerated it, yes.
Yes, but I know what you're saying.
It helps that the characters don't repeat, but sure. Yeah, I just struggle with that in terms of anime. If I start an anime and it's in Japanese, I can't then switch to the dub.
I get that.
But the same thing is like if I start like Black Butler, I started watching dubbed, and it's like there's no way I'm going back. I'm so keyed into the voices, I can't switch.
Now that makes sense to me.
So yeah,
like I said, I always preferred.
Yeah, I want
subtitles over dubs.
Give me subtitles. I don't mind reading.
I was just curious because if you're playing, especially for a movie like this that's going to appeal to all ages.
Yeah,
I'm curious what choice they actively make, and they went for the Japanese. So credit to idiots for presenting it in its original form.
The kids know how to read.
Yeah, and it just should be like, if anything, movies like this that are designed to be fun should encourage them to read.
Yes.
So, what else? What are favorite moments from Destroy All Monsters?
Oh, when they were stomping excuse me. When they were stomping when they were stomping Ghidorah out. That was my favorite moment. Finally killing him, because like as much as I've enjoyed them beating him, him flying away at the end, I'm like, is a little unsatisfactory. This one I got full satisfaction.
I definitely like the uniting of them in like as if we're getting our dramatic Avengers 360 shot. We're getting like all the monsters have combined, and they're now combining forces to go after whatever's next. I love the reaction that after they beat the Ghidorah, there's like another fire demon dragon thing. Like it's just like a UFO that's on fire. But like the Kylax get on the TV and they're all like pompous. They're like, all right, whatever. We didn't even need Ghidorah. We got our fire dragon that's going to destroy your city.
Yeah.
If you don't give us what we want. And then they're like, Godzilla's there outside their lair and like makes his roar, and the look that she has on her face is like such a perfect direction of, oh shoot, I didn't cut on this.
Yeah.
and then like
that actress did a really good job.
It's a great reaction shot, and then Godzilla like blasts it with his beam, doesn't do anything, blasts it again, and then it's like, screw this, and just kicks it. It's great. It's like, as much as this film works, I think, pretty well as an ensemble as far as the monsters are concerned, I do like that because it's Godzilla's franchise, it does give him the most to like accomplish.
Yeah.
I think it pays, and not in like a greedy way, but more of like a first Avengers. Like Iron Man's like doing the work, but like at the end of the day, he's the one that saves the day. Like he's like leading the team in the right kind of way. Like it worked, even though Cap's the leader. But like it works out.
Yes. It was, I agree.
So yeah, I like that this whole bit of like reacting like, oh no, Godzilla's here.
That tickled me when he just kicked the thing in. Because at some point I was like, Godzilla, we got to change it up. The breath ain't working, and he said, let me just kick the door down, and it worked.
It's the kind of thing where you give a lot of, and it's not like it's not earned or fun in the moment, but you give a lot of credit to these like modern filmmakers. Like, what if we subvert it and like Hulk comes in and smashes Loki around? But it's like these movies people aren't dumb. Movies have been doing these kinds of moves for a long time. Like, it's very hard to create like a new trope in a film, and it's not that those are bad things or it's not original. Like, who cares? It's just more these films know how to have the same kind of fun as modern films do. It might look different, it might have a new coat of paint on it, but Ishirô Honda is not, he's not some like old fuddy-duddy. He's making a Godzilla movie. It's designed to be fun.
That part did tickle me a lot. Her reactions, yes,
it's a great,
particularly
shot.
As it was like nearing. Felt very Tom Hollander in
Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End.
Yep, as he's walking down the.
That's a great example. Yeah. That's a great example of what that moment is.
Yeah,
down to the result of it. Like, she basically just goes down with the ship.
Yeah,
it just really happens that way. All right. Anything else on Destroy All Monsters?
I think we've covered everything.
Okay, so at this point in our series, this is the 10th Godzilla movie.
Yes.
This is our 13th episode. We've had multiple bonus episodes that kind of compensate for certain things. Very, very necessary viewings of things like Varan and Rodan. But we're 10 in. Granted, we're one away as far as you having seen all of 10 based on how the order we're recording in. But just give me a laydown. Like, not everything, but like, what are like your top 3 of these so far?
Oh, God. Well,
of these first 10.
54. The OG original. The original, this is a long answer, but the original is making me very excited in 2026, when we get to -1, to like revisit that and see how I feel about that, because I'm intrigued. Astro Monster.
Okay.
Because what? Because I cannot believe I like that movie as much as I did, because it was bonkers. Gosh, I'm trying to think of what the third one would be.
So you still have Raids, King Kong, Mothra, Ghidorah, Sun.
Oof. Well, it's not that one. Maybe Mothra?
As in Mothra versus Godzilla?
Mothra versus Godzilla. Or Ghidorah. It's one of those two. I think that those would be sort of in that range.
Okay.
I can't pull up Letterboxd because
fair enough.
Our backup recording is on my phone. So
I'd be Godzilla and then Invasion and Destroy All Monsters. Not in that order necessarily, but I mean those are my top 3 of this of the first 10 Godzilla films. Those would be where I put these.
Yeah, it'd be interesting once we get through the Showa era to really look at it. I've been tracking it sort of as we've gone along.
We'll certainly be revisiting this topic once we get to the end.
Yeah.
Have a fun episode to kind of go over
the Showa era, and then the end of the next era, and then the end of, to see how they all stack up.
The thing that should help you is that while this first season of our show is it's going to be like 17 to 18 episodes or 19 episodes total, I think. The following seasons will be, by default, shorter because there's only 6 in each of those, 6 and 5. I will incorporate some bonus episodes.
Well, we know that
it out a bit, but by default it'll be shorter than the show.
There's an animated series.
There's stuff we can do, but like it won't nearly be as many episodes. So
yeah, and the listeners, I've been enjoying this. How many episodes are in the animated show?
Which the 90s animated show?
There's multiple animated Godzillas.
There's the 60s animated series, which features Godzilla and Godzuki, another child character.
Well, let's play that by ear.
There's also the 90s animated series that's based on the Emmerich movie.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, which I've only seen maybe I can't remember like at this point watch, but it's a well regarded cartoon series.
Interesting.
As far as especially compared to the Emmerich show, like people actually really like the cartoon series that came from it. I'm not suggesting we should watch all 100 episodes of this show, but I am certainly curious
because we say in the title movies, not But yeah, let's see. But yeah, it'd be interesting. I'm intrigued to see how these things start. We've seen a lot of them, and they're starting to stack up. So it's going to be interesting to when we get to the end of this Showa era to really look at what we witnessed.
For sure. All right. Where can people find more of your work online?
You can find my work at lenoirtour.net and on Twitter at Terence B. Johnson.
You can find everything I do at my personal Substack page, thecodeofzeke.substack.com. I write for We Live Entertainment. I co-host the podcast Out Now with Aaron and A with my friend A. We talk about weekly movie releases and do commentaries and a lot of other fun stuff. And I'm also on the Summer of 2015 at 10 with Brandon Peters and Scott Mendelson. We talk about the 2015 movie season 10 years later. And
I should probably mention that I did some special entries in the Summer of 2015 looking at some music videos.
Yes, correct. Yeah, Brandon has every week accompanying that show. There are multiple special guest episodes featuring the music of that time. And yes, Terrence, you're on a couple of those episodes.
I am. Yes,
I'm excited to hear this. I'm on all the socials at Aaron's PS4. Okay, that's been this episode. Next week 2 weeks from now, will be All Monsters Attack, a movie that definitely exists. And that's going to do it for this episode. So this has been
Two Black Guys Talk Godzilla. Two Black Guys Talk Godzilla is an independent podcast. The show is produced, edited, and distributed by Aaron Neuwirth and Terence Johnson. Theme music is sampled from Pharaoh Monch. Please rate and review this show on Apple Podcasts. Feel free to email us at blackguystalkgodzilla@gmail.com and follow us on the socials at BLK Godzilla Talk on Twitter and Blue Sky and at Two Black Guys Talk Godzilla on Facebook and Instagram. And if you haven't already subscribed, feel free to do so wherever you download your podcast so you can keep listening to Two Black Guys Talk Godzilla.